Welcome to Ian Livingstone's The Forest of Doom, Fighting Fantasy number 3, as read by me, iClorox, originally on my Twitch stream, but it is now edited for you, your enjoyment, on YouTube. So please sit back and enjoy part 1 of The Forest of Doom. Cool. Hey, welcome to a live read of The Forest of Doom. Fighting Fantasy, book number 3, Ian Livingstone's Forest of Doom. All right, hold on a sec. A few little other things here. So, if you're new to this stream, this is the second time I've done it. What we're going to do is do a bit of a live read of the one of my favorite fighting fantasy books. This is a multi-path game book, which means, let me give you a quick preview. That it's not linear. All the entries in here are all numbered, and it's kind of like a, well, I'm going to say multi-path game book. I'm not going to say the other thing that I was going to say, but it's, we read it as an adventure. So choices that we make or that you make will lead to different outcomes, different endings, different possibilities. It's kind of a fun, self-contained little adventure book if you've played other fantasy role-playing games. Now, this one in particular, as I said, Forest of Doom, it is number 3 in a long series originating back in the very early 80s. Forest of Doom is 1983, done by Ian Livingstone. And the one I read previously, Citadel of Chaos, with Steve Jackson, and they've also collaborated on a number of these together. So, yeah. We're going to kind of get kicked off here. With these adventure books, the first thing you kind of have to do is you have to roll up a character. And you can see hold on a sec, here, we've got our character sheet, 3 stats, skill, stamina, and luck. We're going to be rolling for those in our magic crystal ball. Below there, you can see a couple of dice. What we're going to do is make some dice rolls, and hopefully those land more in the center. You know, there's some dice roll. There's an element of luck in here as well. And, okay, let me think. What other stream elements do we have? So we're going to create a character. I've already put in the gear and loot that we start with. We are then going to also... we have bookmarks. Where are the bookmarks? I'm going to point bookmarks. They're down. Holy smokes, this is hard. Here-ish. Okay, yeah. So if we get stuck at any point, we can create a bookmark. Just write down what page number it is, and then we can always go back to that if we want to die. Of course, these game books were made in such a way that you're meant to play it multiple times. Sometimes you'll hit a dead end or you'll die, and then you want to retread your path, and you can rapidly go through those things back and forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll up a character and just kind of get to it, see how this goes. Now, there is this is meant to be an interactive stream, which means that, hey, if you want to throw it in the chat, a choice, sometimes I'll come to the audience for some choices. If you're in the channel and you want me to go a particular way, then awesome. I have put on the stream delay reduction. So hopefully, last time I did this was about a 30-second delay. And if I don't hear anything back from the stream, I'm just going to do this book because I've done parts of it in my past. And I'll give a shout out potentially to my family members, which are lurking behind me somewhere, to make some choices as well. And we're just going to have a good time. Hopefully we'll make it to the end successfully. If not, we might just cheat our way to the end and get the kind of as much of the experience of this book as possible. So this is me reading The Forest of Doom. Cool. All right. Forest of Doom. Now, one thing I do like, this is a used copy, not my original copy. I'd like to give a shout out to whatever amazing person played this before. These are such fun books, and it's always great to see people have used these and love these well. So it's giving away a little plot here that we could possibly get some boots of leaping and gloves of missile dexterity, but you know what? That's all right. Let's begin. All right. Only foolhardy or the very brave would willingly risk a journey into the Darkwood Forest, where strange, twisting paths wind their way through the eerie depths. Who knows what monstrous creatures lurk in the threatening shadows, or what deadly creatures await the unwary traveler? Do you dare to enter? In a desperate race against time deep within Darkwood, Your quest is to find the missing pieces of the legendary Hammer of Stonebridge, which was fashioned by dwarfs. Protect peaceful Stonebridge against its ancient doom. 2 dice, a pencil, a Twitch account, a racer, followers, good times, a drink for parched throats are all you need to embark on this thrilling adventure of sword and sorcery, complete with its elaborate combat system and score sheet to record your gains and losses. Now, I'll get into the combat stuff if you're not familiar with it later. It involves some dice rolling and some tracking and some other good stuff. So I will definitely bring everybody up to speed as to what we're doing with that as we go forward. Many dangers lie ahead, and your success is by no means certain. Powerful adversaries are ranged against you, and often your only choice is to kill or be killed. All right, that's a good start to this one. One thing that we didn't do yet, and I'd like to throw out some suggestions. Anybody that's in the stream right now, we need a name for our hero or heroine that is going into the Forest of Doom. Last time we left the hero as unnamed for the majority up until the point where they met their untimely demise. I'd like to get a little something ahead of that. So if there's any suggestions, I'll wait a second. Otherwise, I will throw it to my family and or make something up on the fly. And welcome to the stream. Bartholomew. Oh, I recognize that name. Asimo Frass. All right, there's one suggestion. Is that like a double name? Bartholomew Spencer? Oh, 1 second though. I get to choose between all these, don't I? 1 second here. I am just going to quickly make a modification so our chat is much easier to read. But it seems that Sassy Mofras is the only one making suggestions, and I'm going to take Meowser, I think. I can see what's what. Cool. Okay, right, let's get to this book before any more delay. So Meowser was the suggestion that I'm going to move forward with. Name. It will be me typing occasionally, just so you are aware. All right, Meowser, let's get to it. Forest of Doom. Good to know that there's a 30-second delay. Thank you very much, Sassy. All right, this is all fighting stuff. We do start with our regular equipment. You can see here in our gear and loot, sword, leather armor, and provisions. What we do need to do is generate our skill, stamina, and luck scores. Our skill score is 1 second. Oh, sorry, it's 1 second. D6. 6 plus 6 is 12, giving us the maximum possible skill, which is amazing. That will help us through all of our combat. Stamina is 2d6 plus 12. Wow, that's some crazy rolling. So far, so good. 23. Now, see if I am also equally lucky on the luck, which is 1d6. Oops, that was a 4. Giving us a total of 10 luck. Now, these stats will be used throughout the book. We obviously don't want to be totally depleted in stamina, which is our hit points. So, all right, let's get to it. Being Livingstone's Forest of Doom. You know what we're doing. Ooh, this is a long intro. Bear with me. Grab a drink. Background. You are an adventurer, a sword for hire, and have been roaming the northern borderlands of your kingdom. Having always spurned the dullness of village life, you now wander the lands in search of wealth and danger. Despite the long walks and rough outdoor life, you are content with your unknown destiny. The world holds no fears for you as a skillful warrior, well practiced in the art of slaying evil men and beasts with your trusty sword. Not once during the last 10 days since entering the northern borderlands have you set eyes upon another person. This does not worry you at all, as you are happy with your own company, enjoy the slow, sunny days hunting, eating, and sleeping. It is evening, and having feasted on a dinner of rabbit, spit roasted on an open fire, you settle down to sleep beneath your sheepskin blanket. There's a full moon, and the light sparkles on the blade of your broadsword skewered into the ground by your side. You gaze at it, wondering whether you will be when you will next have to wipe the blood of some vile creature from its sharp edge. These are strange lands, inhabited by weird and loathsome beasts, goblins, trolls, and even dragons. As the flame of your campfire gently dies, you begin to drift asleep. The images of screaming, green-faced trolls flicker through your mind. Suddenly, in the bushes to the left, you hear the loud crack of a twig breaking under a clumsy foot. You leap up and grab your sword from the ground. You stand motionless but alert, ready to pounce on your unseen adversary. Then you hear a groan, followed by the dull thud of a body falling to the ground. Is it a trap? Slowly you walk over to the bush where the noise is coming from and carefully pick up the branches. Oh, pull back the branches. You look down to see a little old man with a great bushy beard, his face contorted with pain. You crouch down to remove the iron helmet covering his balding head and notice 2 crossbow bolts protruding from the stomach of his plump, chainmail-clad torso. Picking him up, you carry him over to the fire and stir the dying embers into life. After covering him with the sheepskin blanket, you manage to get the old man to drink a little water. Ooh, that's bad first aid. He coughs and moans. He sits up rigid, eyes staring fixedly ahead, and starts to shout. "I'll get them! I'll get them! Don't you fear, Gillibrand! Big Leg is coming to bring you the hammer. Oh yes, indeed I am. Oh yes!" The dwarf, whose name you presume is Big Leg, is obviously delirious from the poison-tipped bolts lodged into his stomach. You watch as he slumps down again onto the ground, then whispers his name in his ear. Weird. His eyes stare unblinking at you as he again starts to shout. "Ambush! Look out! Ambush! Ah! The hammer! Take the hammer to Gillibrand! Save the dwarfs!" His eyes half close and the pain seems to ease a little. As the delirium subsides, he speaks to you again in a low whisper. "Help us, friend. Take the hammer to Gillibrand. Only the hammer will unite our people against the trolls. We were on our way to Darkwood in search of the hammer. Ambushed by the little people. Others killed. The map in my pouch will take you to the home of Yastromo, the master mage of these parts. He has great magics for sale to protect you against the creatures of Darkwood. Take my gold. I beg you to find the hammer and take it to Gillibrand, my lord of Stonebridge. You will be rewarded." Big Leg opens his mouth to start another sentence, but nothing comes out except his last dying breath. You sit down and ponder Big Leg's word. Who is Gillibrand? Who is Yastromo? What is all the fuss about the dwarvish hammer? You reach over to the still body of Big Leg and remove the pouch from his leather belt around his waist. Inside you find 30 gold pieces and a map. Alright, here's the map that we found. We can see at the bottom there we've got Yastromo's tower, we've got hills, there's a road that goes all the way around Darkwood Forest, one that cuts halfway through, and of course Stonebridge River, and Stonebridge and the river at the top. Alright, so we've got 30 gold pieces and that map. That sweet, sweet map. And we'll move on to the next one. Jingling the coins in your hand, you think of the possible rewards which may await you just for returning the hammer to the village of the dwarfs. You decide to try to find the hammer in Darkwood Forest. It's been a few weeks since your last good battle, and, what is more, you will likely be well paid for this one. With your mind made up, you settle down to sleep, having taken back the sheepskin blanket from poor Big Leg. In the morning, you bury the old dwarf and gather up your possessions. You examine the map, look up to the sun, and find your bearings. Whistling merrily, you head off south at a good pace, eager to meet this man Yastromo and see what he has to offer. And you are a stone-cold killer. Just like buried that poor dwarf, gave him water, that's some bad first aid. Alright, I'm going to quickly just throw that bookmark in there, because I need to update our inventory. We got some sweet, sweet coin. I'm going to put that right here. 30 GP gold pieces. Oh, we are rich. Now, from what I do remember of this book, we get to spend some of that right away, but no spoilers. Now, turn over. All right, here's the illustration. Oriented properly. The tower is set back to the edge of Darkwood, some 50 meters away from the path. There we go. Number 1. You walk to Yastromos. Your walk to Yastromos takes a little over half a day, and you arrive at a home, stone tower home, dirty and hungry. As the tower is set back on the edges of the dark wood, some 50 meters away from the path you have been following, it is difficult to find. Finally, you walk up to the huge oak door, somewhat relieved to find that it does exist and that Bigleg had not been speaking wildly in his delirium. A large brass bell and gong hang from the stone archway. As you ring the bell, a shiver runs down your spine and you realize that the loud bong invades a deep silence, which you have not noticed before. There are no sounds of birds or animals to be heard. You wait anxiously at the door and hear slow footsteps descending stairs from the tower above. A small wooden slot in the door slides open, and 2 eyes appear and examine you. "Well, who are you?" demands a grumpy voice through the hole. You answer that you are an adventurer in search of the master mage Yastromo, intending to purchase magical items from him to combat the creatures of the Darkwood Forest. "Oh, well, in that case, if you're interested in buying some of my merchandise, you'd better come up. I am Yastromo." All right. He turns and slowly climbs the stone stairs. Will you follow him up the stairs, or draw your sword and attack him? Well, this one seems like kind of a no-brainer, in that we should totally kill all wizards all the time. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if I want to get into a brawl like super right away. But I think we're going to just take it easy at the first part of this adventure here, and we're going to follow him up the stairs. We can see right away, though, if you're new to these kinds of hey, War Pigs, we will totally follow that dude. This is how these games work. So this game book, it points to a different page, and we're going to follow him up the stairs. You'll see how this goes. 261. Oh man, all right. You follow the huffing and puffing old man in his tattered robes up the spiral staircase to a large room at the top of the tower. Shelves, cupboards, and cabinets line the walls, all filled with bottles, jars, weapons, armor, and all manner of strange artifacts. Yastromo shuffles past the central or the general clutter and slumps down in an old oak chair. He reaches into his top pockets and pulls out a fragile pair of gold-rimmed spectacles. Placing these on his nose, he picks up a piece of slate and chalk from the table next to his chair and begins to write frantically. Then he hands you the slate. Oh, as you can see here, we have a lot of options. Potion of healing, plant control, stillness, insect control, anti-poison, holy water, ring of light, boots of leaping, rope of climbing, net of entanglement, armband of strength, gloves of missile, one glove, just a glove of missile dexterity, rod of water finding, garlic buds, headband of concentration, fire capsules, nose filters. He tells you that all the instructions for use are written clearly on the labels attached to the items, together with their suggested use. He sighs and tells you that unfortunately the magic in the items only works once, but they are the best you can buy for the money. If you decide to buy any of the items, pay for them by reducing the amount of gold on your adventure sheet and add the items to our inventory. Yastromo, so while I'm reading the rest of this, you guys throw in some suggestions into the chat there and we'll buy those items. Yastromo then asks you the reason for the purchasing of the items, and you tell him your story and your decision to continue the quest of the luckless Bigleg. "Ah, yes," Yastromo says slowly, rubbing his chin. "I heard that the good dwarves of Stonebridge had lost their fabled warhammer. Without it, their king is unable to arouse his people, despite the fact that the hill trolls threaten the village. Rumor has it that the envious king of another village of dwarves sent an eagle to Stonebridge to steal the hammer, which it managed to do. But as it flew back over Darkwood, it was attacked by death hawks. Sweet. And the hammer dropped into the forest and was lost. Apparently, 2 forest goblins found the hammer but could not decide who was to keep it. They wrestled for hours but gave up. Then they discovered that the handle unscrewed from the head, and the argument was settled. One kept the head, and the other kept the handle. Then they parted, each happy with his new treasure. Who knows if they still have them? I'm afraid your problems are doubled. I can tell you that the head is made of bronze and the handle is made of polished ebony. Both head and handle have the letter G inscribed in them. Your task is not easy. Good luck. You thank Nostromo and leave the room by the spiral staircase turned to 177. All right, I'm just going to throw the quick bookmark in there. We'll go back to that purchase list. Here we go. Hard to see the list. I'll put it back out there. And cool. And that leaves us with... Buy it all. Man, I wish I could. Although it does give you a lot of gold to deal with, so there's a lot of stuff. All right, here we go. Okay, let's depart. Yeah, we've pretty much busted Nostromo's inventory here. 177. And so begins our true journey into the Forest of Doom. Outside in the bright light, you notice the dead quietness again. A narrow path leads northwards from the tall grass surrounding Nostromo's tower into the dense undergrowth of Darkwood Forest. In a few strides, you are surrounded by the dark and tangled forest. Stones and knotted roots seem to hide in the shadows, and you can almost believe that they're trying to trip you up. The light fades quickly, and the air becomes moist and unpleasant. Deeper and deeper you go into the gloom. Eventually, the path forks on either side of a huge old tree. Okay, so here's the very first choice. 50-50, go east, go west. I hope you enjoyed our first foray into the Forest of Doom. There is much more adventure ahead. So please, if you enjoyed yourself, like and subscribe below. And if you're interested in another full series that I did, I read Fighting Fantasy number 2, The Citadel of Chaos, and those videos can also be found on my YouTube channel. That's a really fun one to sit back and enjoy as well. So while you're waiting for video number 2 to come out, please check out those extra videos. Until next time, Clorox out.